Hi, my name is Kate Mahady. I'm an attorney at Aspey, Watkins Diesel in Flagstaff. This information is specific to Arizona, and we'll look at both the Coconino and the Yavapai County packets of information, but also at the state's general packet that people can use to apply to change their names, so that you can use this for any county. Some counties, as we'll go over, some counties require a hearing, some do not. What we're covering today is changing your and or your children's names. This is the same in any county. You need to submit either a petition or an application to change your and or your children's names to the superior court in the county where you live. If you're in Flagstaff, that's Coconino County. Camp Verde's Yavapai, Tucson, Pima. There's each county, and if you're not 100% sure, it's very easy to figure out which county you're in. It goes to the superior court, which is important. There are 3 courts. They're right near each other in Flagstaff: the city court, the justice court, and the superior court. And that's true in a lot of places. What you'll need is the superior court. Bullet number 2 there, the superior court sets a hearing in the counties where it sets a hearing. The rules actually require a hearing, but not all counties hold one. So that's fine if the court does not hold a hearing. It's just less work for you. I'll tell you what to say at a hearing if you are in a county that does set a hearing. You'll need to provide notice of the hearing and attend the hearing, again, when applicable. And notice of the hearing, you only need to give to a spouse if you're married, and the other parent if you're applying for a name change of a child. The 4th bullet is the Superior Court then issues the order changing your name. And then you have to literally take that order to the bank. You bring a certified copy of the order. You take that order to Social Security, to MVD, and to banks. And then the last bullet is you can provide just a copy, not the certified copy that costs money, of the order changing your name to your employer, creditors, anyone else who needs to know what your current name is. So who is eligible to change their name? And it's any adult 18 years or older may change their name. It's not necessary to change your name if the name change is to do this process. Sorry, if your name change is related to a marriage or a divorce. Your marriage certificate or your divorce decree actually takes care of that for you. And you can bring the marriage certificate or the divorce decree to MVD, to the bank, to Social Security, and anyone else who needs to know about your name change. For minors, a parent, a legal guardian, or another interested party must file on behalf of the minor. I don't know what another interested party includes. I've only seen a parent or legal guardian, and I can tell you that works just fine. An interested party I would expect to be a grandparent or another family member with a very good reason, which leads to the next section. What reason do you need to give? And the law says you can change your name for any good reason. And lawyers make all their money on arguing about what is a good reason or a reasonable resolution. So that's not a great definition. The sentence, the only thing you need to tell the court when you change your name or when you apply to change your name is, I want to change my legal name to my preferred name. That's all you need to tell the court. You can tell them more if you want to, and that's true if you're in a county that has a hearing also. You can give more information if you want, but all you need to say or write is, I want to change my legal name to my preferred name. And that's it. I've been in hearings with people where that's exactly what they say, and the judge says, okay. The restrictions are just common sense. You can't change your name for fraudulent purposes, like to avoid a debt or legal obligations or criminal charges. For a minor, if both parents consent or paternity has not been legally established, then the process is the same for an adult, or it's the same process as the process for an adult. Both parents need to be at least 18 years old. If one parent will not consent, so if both parents consent, they both sign off on the petition or the application, you submit it to the court, and it's the same process. If only one parent will consent, then the parent submitting the petition or the application for the minor's name change must serve the petition and the order on the other parent and file proof of doing so with the court. So there's forms, and we'll just go straight to these in a minute. The forms that work in any court in Arizona are available at that website. Many counties have their own packets, and the two that I use most often, I put here, Coconino County and Yavapai County. They have very specific forms. They've filled out the county for you already. So if you live in either one of those counties, I encourage you to use those forms. If you don't, check your county first to see if they have a set of forms that really they've just already filled in the county for you. That's the big difference. And they have a nice instruction sheet on the county's form. So when you go into this website, here's some up top here, this is some information, but it's basically what I just told you. The forms, you scroll down below. It's an application for name change of an adult or an application of name change for minor child. We'll start with an adult because that's kind of the base process. And if you open up, click on that link, it'll take you to this form, which you have to download to be able to fill out, but is handy to be able to fill out. Your information goes up top here. So you are the person filing. You put your address. If it's not protected by an order of protection, if it is, then just skip that part or write protected by order of protection. City, state, zip code, telephone number, email address, and then you are representing yourself. You do not need a lawyer for this process. You can have one, but they're not necessary. And then you'll put your county that you live in. You will not have a case number until you file, so you can just ignore that. Here, in the matter of, you'll put your current name. So your current legal name, the name you are changing from. And then you'll give some information about yourself here. The first is your birth name, the name that is on your birth certificate. And you do first, middle, last, which it says here. So if I'm moving pretty quickly through all this, you will put your date of birth, city of birth, and county of birth in the information here. That's your birth name, so the name that's on your birth certificate, even if you've changed it since. Then you'll put your current legal name here at number 2, again, first, middle, last, and your current address and all the information that goes with your address. If you're married, this is my married name and that of my current or former spouse. If you have used other names in the past, you fill out number 3 here. It starts with, I was previously married, and it doesn't have to be that you were married, or you can just skip, if your name change had nothing to do with a marriage, you can just skip over those two and go to, I changed my name from to. So anytime, any name, previous names you've used, other than the name on your birth certificate go in this section here. Then you're asking the court to change your name to, this is the new name that you want the court to change your name to. So again, first, middle, last. And on the next page here, you can ask the court to enter this order. It only works in Arizona that you're asking the court to change your birth record. And the court only has the power to order that if you were born in Arizona. The court can make a recommendation if you were born in another state, but it can't order it. And then there's some boxes here to check that you are submitting this application solely for the benefit and in the best interest of the person for whom the name change is requested. So it's, if it's for you, obviously, but if it's for a child, you're saying, or a minor, you're saying that the change is in that minor's best interest. Number two, I understand that basically changing my name does not release me from any legal obligations, no debts, no criminal charges, anything that is common sense, but you never know. The court wants to make sure that you know that for sure. And then you're not, number three, you're not requesting this name change to commit crimes. And here's where at number four, you put the, I'm requesting this name change because all you need to put here is, I want my legal name to be my preferred name, or I want to change my legal name to my preferred name. That's all you need to do. It is number five. It is scary to check yes if you have been convicted of a felony, but it actually does not, for the most part, usually affect your ability to change your name, especially if your sentence is completed. There will be a paper trail of your name that the court can follow, or that law enforcement can follow. If you do have a felony conviction, it's something to explain here, that you have been released from probation or whatever would be good information for the court to have. Number six, the question is, are you facing any current criminal charges? And if yes, put what they are. And the same kind of question, is there anything regarding your pending criminal charges you'd like the court to know? And ideally, I mean, it's better if there's nothing here to add, but if there is, you need to be sure to add it. Because when you sign here, you are affirming under the penalty of perjury that the information that you gave is correct. So you'll sign this in front of a notary. Banks have notaries and courts have notaries, and then there's lots of other notaries, but those ones are usually free, the banks and courts. So you used to be able before COVID to just go into your bank and ask for a notary to sign something for you. That's been less convenient since COVID. So call your bank, see if they have a notary that you can use, or the court has one that you can use usually. So that's the first one. That's the application for name change of an adult. For just an adult, you of course don't need this application for a name change for a minor or the consent or parental waiver. But if you're married, you do need to notify your spouse and provide a marital waiver of notice. So this is if you're in contact with your spouse and they don't object to your name change, which they don't really have a right to do anyway. If your spouse is in agreement with your name change, you can have them sign this. Anytime you're filling out any of these pages, you put your name, your information up at the top left corner, and then the county that you're in, and in the matter of your current legal name goes here at the person requesting name change. And then this is the waiver, the marital waiver is about the spouse. So your spouse puts their information here, their name, address, date of birth, and check that they are married to the applicant. And then they'll sign in front of a notary as well. They'll sign at spouse's signature. And you submit this with the petition or the application. The notice of a hearing is in counties that have a hearing. You need to give notice of a hearing to, if you're an adult applying to change your name, you need to give notice to your spouse if you're married. If you're not married, you don't have to do anything. But you do submit this notice with the application or the petition. And again, you fill out your information up at the top left corner and then put the county and your current legal name, the in the matter of, and then notice of hearing, and the court will fill out when it sets a hearing. And then you'll give this to your spouse if you're an adult applying to change your name and you're married. If you are an adult applying to change your name and you're not married, you can just skip it. If your spouse will not sign the waiver, or if you're not in good contact with them and you need to serve them with notice of the hearing, then you fill out your information up at the top left. This is the affidavit of service. So it's your information up in the top left here, and then the county that you're in, and then again, your current legal name. And what you're doing is saying, I sent that notice to my spouse by certified mail this date, and I know they received it because I received back the signature page. And then you attach the receipt for the certified mail. That's what this says, number 2 here. So for, and just up here for person filing, to clarify, you use your current legal name. And you use your current legal name here to as name of the applicant. So we'll go back. That was the notice of affidavit of service by certified mail. And then you are here, you need to fill this out to the court. The more work we can do for the court, the faster everything moves. So the court has you actually fill out the order yourself, changing your name, and then the judge just signs it. So this one doesn't have anything up in the upper left-hand corner to fill out, but you put in the county still and the name of applicant, your current legal name. And then I wouldn't check any of these boxes. Actually, yeah, go ahead and check them. If you are just asking the court to change your name, check that one box. If you are asking the court to change your birth record, or more accurately, order that your birth record be changed, excuse me, I'm sorry, check that box. And then you'll put down here, you fill this all out for the judge, just make it easier for them. Your current legal name and your date of birth and city of birth, or date of birth and place of birth, is changed to, and then this is your new name, your preferred name, the name that you're changing to. If you are asking the court to change your birth record, check this box. And then on the next page, you'll put your birth certificate name and date and place of birth, and then the name, your new legal name, changed here. If you were born in Arizona, the court can order the Office of Vital Records to change your birth certificate. If you are not born in Arizona, then the court can recommend it that your birth state change your birth certificate. And then the judge will sign that and the court will mail it to you it's been like about 3 weeks after you file everything. So what we did not see in the general state forms, this is a link to the general state forms, the one that will work in any county, is a civil cover sheet. Each county has its own cover sheet. So it just makes the most sense when you bring, if you're able to bring the application or the petition to the court, they'll give you a civil cover sheet to fill out. That's the one that Coconino had checked off the box for you. Then you'll submit to the court that civil cover sheet, the application or the petition, the order changing your name, and the notice of the hearing if applicable. So you're filling all that stuff out. You bring the original and one copy. So you file the completed petition and orders and pay the fee. When you get notice of the hearing, you provide notice when required, if you're in a county that requires a hearing. And the people you have to notice are minors. If you are applying for a minor, you have to give notice to the other parent. If you're applying for yourself as an adult, you need to give notice to your spouse if you're married. If you're not, then you don't have to give notice to anyone. If you're required to give notice, if you fit into one of those categories, you have to file proof of providing notice. And then you attend the hearing and you'll receive the order changing your name. If you are in a county that requires a hearing, the judge will give you the name change order at the hearing. If you're not, then you'll get it in the mail. After you receive your name change order, that's the order you literally take to the bank. That's the certified copy. It has a raised stamp that the clerk uses, kind of an old school machine to stamp to show this is real, is basically what that does. You take it to the Social Security office, and there's a office locator in that link. You do that first. You fill out, if you bring the name change order, they'll tell you what form you need to use, but it's SS5. And then you give it a few days from when you've done that. You will get the card in the mail. You take the certified copy to MVD and they'll change about a week after you go to Social Security, and then they'll change your license or your identification card, and then you take it to the bank. And then you don't have to, and you get the certified copy back because you don't want to have to pay for more and go through the hassle of dealing with the court. So you get the certified copy back from Social Security and MVD. Everyone else, the bank will probably want a certified copy also, but they'll give it back to you, or they should. Everyone else can have just a regular copy. They don't need a certified copy. So hold on to that certified copy. But you go to the Social Security office and you'll need to fill out Form SS5, and there's a link in the PowerPoint to that. You can fill it out in advance if you want and just show you're totally prepared. It may save you a few minutes at the Social Security office. And then you'll give the clerk the copy of your name change order, the SS5, and your current driver's license or ID with your prior legal name. At least 2 days. I would give it about a week after you change your Social Security records, go to the MVD. It used to be that the MVD would take all day to do anything. You'd have to go with a book. It's really not that bad anymore because so much is online. This is not online. You have to do this in person, at least so far. When you go into MVD, you tell the intake clerk you want to change your name on your license. They'll give you a form and then a number. And then you'll give the clerk you'll fill out the form, then give the clerk the certified copy of your name change order and your current driver's license or ID card with your prior name. Changing your passport. If you already have a passport and just want to change your name on your passport, and you qualify to use the form DS-82, which is for renewal, you can apply for a new passport by mail using that form. And there's a link to the form in the PowerPoint. If you're applying for a passport for the first time, you need to go through the Department of State for that and include a copy of your name change order. They probably won't need a certified copy. They didn't in the ones that I've worked on so far. They did not need a certified copy.